watch our backs and our hearts in this ghost town. We used to be so caring, but we're cool now. Do you wanna be a ghost with me now? We watch our backs and our hearts in this ghost town.
Welcome to the Tri-Cities.Mixtape podcast. My name is Miguel Ortiz. I'm here with Vic Williamson.
What's going on, y'all?
Today we have a local concert photographer. We have Anthony Moore of Fat Man Photography. Welcome, Anthony.
Thank you guys for having me.
We started to touch on it before, but where did the name Fat Man come from? Because I had, some hesitation with referring to you as such, or even just, because it's the name of your company or whatever. But where did that name come from?
Yeah, so outside of most people seeing me and going, yeah, that guy's a large fellow.
Yeah.
It actually, like I said, has an empowerment to it that I gave it back to myself way back in middle school. So, always been a big kid. It's just family's a big family.
Right.
It was always going to happen. And
I mean, food is great, by the way.
yeah,
it is amazing.
I will say. When I was in middle school, I used to let it get me down. Like kids would make fun of me. It's the easy thing to.
Right.
It's visual. People go, "That kid's fat. Let's make fun of him." Kids are terrible most of the times. I think it was like 7th or 8th grade. We had our spirit week for school, and there were superhero day, school colors, da da da. And for superhero day, I was like, you know what? I have this white cape from Halloween. Yeah. I'm gonna draw a cheeseburger on it. I'm going to write Fat Man on the back of it.
Yes.
I'm going to be a superhero. I'm going to be Fat Man the superhero.
Yeah.
Just kind of take it back. And so I remember walking down the hall, coming from lunch on my way to my next period. I heard 2 kids behind me go, "Oh, can you believe he actually has Fat Man on the back of it?" And the one guy was like, "Actually, that's kind of cool, man. At least he's like he's taking ownership of it." And I was like, yeah, fuck, I'm going to take ownership of it. And so come high school, that was how I would introduce people like, "Oh, hey, I'm Fat Man."
Yeah.
Da, da, da. Most of people I knew in high school didn't know my real name.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
And so they would be like, one of my friends would be like, "Oh, yeah, you know Anthony?" And they're like, "Who?" And they're like, "Oh, Fat Man." Like, "That's his name?" Like, I didn't know his name was Anthony.
Yeah.
And like I said, I would have like friends introduce me to like partners or whatever, or they'd be like, "Oh, this is Fat Man." Just get a smack.
Yeah.
And be like, "Don't call him that." I'm like, no, he likes it. But no, I hate that. Like, why do you always call me that? And then the girlfriend get mad at him, and then I was like, "I'm just kidding. No, it's cool."
Yeah.
And as once after high school, then it got more of a split. I would call people Anthony or stuff like that, and then but then it becomes a brand, right? Then it was easy to if I'm doing.
That's awesome. Like having your own symbol, your own chosen name, really, that you introduced and like had it as an alias, and that was the footing for your brand.
Yeah, and like I said, it keeps me like kind of going forward. Like I said, there's so many photographers that are just my name photography or whatever.
Yeah.
It's hard. People don't remember that. Like, who's Joe Smith's photography?
Yeah.
But they're like, "Oh, hey, that's Fat Man." And then like they see me at the shows, like very leaned into the branding. I have a baseball embroidered hat that I had made right after I started doing this.
Yeah.
Because like when people are shooting photos in the front of the crowd, like what they're gonna see the back of my hat and see my logo, and they'll be like, "Oh, hey, like I saw." Like they'll find my Instagram, like there's my photos from the show, like.
Smart.
And it's like it's like good branding. Just it's memorable. Or people want to take a photo of it and go, "Oh, did you see that guy's like hat?" And then they remember, "Oh yeah, I should go follow his Instagram."
Hell yeah.
That's cool.
But let's start back at the beginning. Where were you born, and where did you grow up, and how did you make your way to the Tri-Cities?
So I grew up just north here, Moses Lake. It's a little small town. I believe you're from Othello.
Yeah.
So the area. I grew up there until I was 18, and then the summer after high school, I was working at Pizza Hut. I applied for a bunch of like jobs. I didn't know what I wanted to be. Like I just seen like the movie Grandma's Boy, and I was like, "Oh, I want to be like a game tester."
Yeah.
That sounds like a cool job. And so I just applied for a bunch of tech jobs, thinking like, "Oh, whatever. I'll go to college in the fall, figure out what's going to happen." A couple months later, I got a call back from Amazon of all places, and they were like, "We're hiring this tech support job. Do you want to apply for it?" And I was like, "What's Amazon, like the bookstore?" Like I'd forgot about it. This is before Amazon was big. This was 18 years ago. And they were like, "Yeah, like we're launching like a video support thing." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll come down, check it out. I'll do an interview." Did the interview, called me back the next day. They're like, "Hey, we want to hire you." Because I had done like IT internship at the high school doing like some tech stuff. And
Okay.
they were like, "Cool." Like, and I was like, "I guess I'm moving to the Tri-Cities."
Yeah.
And so I commuted the first month that I was in training, almost died a couple times on the 395.
Yeah.
Have to leave at 6 a.m. to get to training by 8.
Oh, geez.
And it's just, I'm a night person. I was working Pizza Hut, so I was working close. So I was already like late driver. And
oh, shit.
And made it through the first month, got an apartment, and then I mostly been here ever since. So the next 18 years, I'm still at Amazon doing software development now. And then lived in Seattle for a bit. Didn't really like the city vibe, and so I ended up moving back here. And I like Tri-Cities. It's a cool little niche, like not too big, not too small.
Right.
It has its ups and downs.
So how long has this been home base?
So September would have been 18 years.
Oh, okay.
Amazon didn't hit you with RTO?
Nope. I am valuable enough, I guess, for an exception.
That's one reason I've been dodging their interviews.
Yeah, a lot of people did. I've been working remote to my boss for 10 years.
Yeah.
So he's never cared. He fought for it, and worked out.
Was photography your first artistic or visual expression?
So I took a lot of cues from my sister. She's an actual artist, draws, paints, whatever.
Oh, okay.
She just musically, she can listen to any music and start playing piano to it. She's just very visually. And so I was like, oh, I want to draw like her. She's always drawing. I want to draw. So my first artistic stuff was doing artwork and where she can draw animation stuff beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
I found that I'm actually okay at doing portraits. And so I would do my favorite musicians and stuff. I have old drawings with Kurt Cobain or Trent Reznor or Corey Taylor, Slipknot, all these random things, and they just hang on my wall in my mom's house.
And you still have them?
Yeah, my mom actually finally took them all off my wall because they were in my bedroom at my mom's house. And I would go home and it'd be a snapshot, it was still 18 years ago.
Yeah.
Every photos of my friends, photos of all my artwork, photos from shows.
Yeah. It's like a shrine to your youth.
Yeah. And in high school, I also did TV production. So that's where I got more into that medium of videography and stuff. We're shooting anything from high school sports to we did a beauty pageant to the plays and then Battle of the Bands, those type of things. So I was always involved with my friends' bands, let me videotape or let me help promote shows. I have some design background. Let me make you guys flyers when no one knew how to use Photoshop. And, and so I was making up these really crappy flyers for their random free show at the park or
yeah. And what high school did you go to?
Moses Lake, just Moses Lake.
Oh
High
yeah,
School.
Moses Lake High School.
It's the only high school they have still.
Yeah, really?
It was overcrowded 18 years ago, and it's overcrowded now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I bet. Even worse now.
Yeah.
when did we transition from videography to photography to still?
So one thing I've always done is ever since my very first concerts was like 2004. My mom let my neighbor take me to Ozfest.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, well, I want to remember this. So I took 2 disposable cameras.
Oh, yeah.
And I would just like take photos, like, of, you know, just wherever I was at the crowd, get as close as I could to the band, like take those photos. And that became like a tradition. Like the 2 constants for every show that I went to was keep the ticket stub and bring a camera. Like whether it was disposable. I think my 16th or 17th birthday, my mom bought me like a, probably not even bought, she got it free with a printer, digital like HP camera.
Oh, okay, nice.
Like
nice.
little digital camera, and I took that with me. The
Yeah.
photos look terrible. Like I've gone through them and like, oh God, nothing's in focus, all this other stuff. And so.
Oh, I thought maybe just like, because the limitations of the time.
Even that, like the quality is just so bad. Like,
Yeah.
you know, 320 megapixels wide by 240, and you're like, oh, yeah, you can almost make out a person if you squint.
Oh, okay.
Especially with like new monitors and stuff that are so.
Yeah. It's so funny because at the time, like, it was the hottest shit. I was thinking the other day, and maybe you can shed some light on this. The red eye. I had my brother got me a camera before my kids.
Yep.
Right before my first kid was born, and I remember one of the functions it would take red eye out, and then I was thinking about it the other day, and I'm like, wait, that's not even a thing anymore. I don't even. Like the red eye doesn't show up in pictures anymore, and maybe this is something you do know or not. Is that just something with how modern cameras are?
The flashes like got better.
Oh, okay. Oh, the light, because it's all LED lights now, right?
Yeah, and they're actually like not like flashing right in the eye, where it's kind of like more of a bounce, like with like a bounce flash or something, like built in, so you don't get that red eye as much.
Yeah, no, because I remember thinking that was the coolest shit. But
Right.
one time I zoomed in and I saw that all they did, they just blacked out
It's
all
just
the red
blacks
parts.
it all out.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh, like if you zoomed in, it looked terrible. Like
Oh, absolutely.
like somebody cracked my eye.
Yeah, just super black pixels. That's all it was.
All right, dope. So concert camera. Oh no, your mom gets the free camera with the printer. And then
So then I had a digital camera. So then I was taking that with me everywhere, as long as the venue let me take it in.
right.
Like I snuck a camera into a Tool concert at the Spokane Arena.
Yeah.
Because they said, I was like, well, I can't, like I parked like a mile away. I don't want to walk all the way back to my car. And they're like, well, you need to throw away the AA batteries. And I was like, okay, I'll throw them away. I had like 4 AA's in my sock because I knew they weren't going to check. And so like I would just like I planned the whole
Nice.
thing. Like I knew they were going to make me throw away the camera batteries, and I was
okay.
like, all right, well, I'm going to sneak this in.
Yeah.
I probably have like 3 good shots from that show, because then you're trying to hide it the whole show. Like, because if they see it, they're going to kick you out. And I was like, all right, well, I just got a quick snap,
Yeah.
duck back into the pit.
Yeah. In 2020, I saw Tool at the Spokane Arena.
Yeah.
And I think they've been doing it for a while. They're like, don't pull your phones out until like their encore, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, but everybody did. But they would call it out on stage too. They'd be like, hey. And I was just like, they're serious about that shit.
I did their photos professionally, like at the Moda Center in Portland, and there were so many like agreements that we had to sign to say like, you can only shoot 7 minutes front of the stage. You're all gonna have the same exact view. Maynard's going to be in the spotlight for all of 20 seconds, so good luck in your shot. And I love Tool. I love seeing them, but I was like, God, it's such a night. It gives you so much anxiety because you're like, I now have 7 minutes essentially to figure out every shot, and I need to make sure that I'm paying attention for that 20 seconds that he's in, actually not in the shadows, especially with Tool, because like Maynard's very much a behind the scenes in that band, or like if it was a Perfect Circle or Pussifer, like he's more of a front man, and so he's up front.
Yeah. When I saw him, he was like on a pillar in the back,
Yep.
almost like behind everybody, and I'm like, that's a kind of a baller move. But it probably sucks for photographers.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you just get him for the walkout and.
Pretty much. That's pretty much it. That's always the agreements with the big artists can be interesting to shoot, because like another one was Smashing Pumpkins, very similar. Like they didn't tell me that I couldn't shoot from the stage. They let me shoot from the stage the first 2 bands, and then all of a sudden like the third, Smashing Pumpkins coming out, Billy Corgan's walking on the stage. I have my camera out ready to get the shot, and I immediately have like a stage manager in my ear saying, you need to get out of here. And I was like, what are you talking about? I have a photo pass. And he's like, no, you need to go. And so he like follows me out of the photo pit, and he goes, you guys are supposed to be shooting from the soundboard. Well, this is at the Spokane Arena. The soundboard is a mile away.
Oh, really?
And so like
wow.
I didn't have a long lens or anything. I was like, oh gosh. Luckily I have a really good crop on my camera
yeah.
to get like some decent like wide shots, but it's like, you're like, man, I wish you would have told me that up front, because then I would have brought a longer lens.
Right. How how did you get from kid with your mom's throwaway digital camera to getting into concerts and actually getting press passes and getting harassed by Billy Corgan's stage manager?
Yeah, so that's actually surprisingly a little more recent thing. So like so from 14 to say 32, like it was all on my own. Pretty much get to the barricade, get there as close as you can to not get hit a bunch and get your blurry photos. To like, I think it was right after COVID, like shows started to open up again, and I was at a show at the Paramount, and it was for the 90s grunge band Candlebox, and I saw a photographer a couple of photographers walking around, and I was like, I almost wanted just to ask him, like, how do I get to do what you're doing?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm very shy, so I was like, I don't really want to talk. I just randomly ask him, like, I want to do your job, and I'm sure they get that a bunch of, yeah, sure, kid, you can.
Yeah.
Well, I went home after that show and was like, okay, I'm gonna look it up. I went online. Everyone's like, okay, you need to have a portfolio. You need to kind of build out your resume, and then you can maybe start reaching out to publications to kind of help sponsor you, to help you get the pass. Because most bands aren't going to give you a photo pass if there's no publication, or they want the marketing to allow you to do your photos, and your personal Instagram isn't going to cut it in most cases.
Well, right.
Yeah, they want some bigger backing.
Yeah, and so I was like, we were at home, or we were in lockdown, and I already started wasn't going to shows. I was like, I have years and years of photos that I've kept on hard drives and stuff, and thumb drives everywhere. And I was like, I'm just gonna create an Instagram and start posting photos. Maybe people will like what I post, and if not, my mom and her friend will always like my post. Always got 2 guaranteed likes on every post. And so I just started doing that, and I had this publication out of the UK reach out to me, just messaged me on Instagram. We're like, hey, dude, really love your photos. Like, got some really cool shots. Like, you're the good eye for this. Do you want to shoot for our publication? And I was like, well, this sounds made up. I also have a bunch of people saying, hey, buy likes from me and my Instagram DMs all the time, right? And so I was like, oh yeah. I was like, well, I'm in the US. And they're like, oh no, we're looking to expand and get more coverage in US shows. So that way when bands come to the UK, we already have a relationship with them and stuff.
Oh, hell yeah.
And so we're looking Seattle, Portland area. And I was like, oh, well, cool. I'm always in Seattle or Portland for shows, depending on, where the bands go and what my schedule looks like. And so I was like, okay, yeah, sounds good. And they're like, well, it's not really payable, but we'll help you get we'll help you get the pass and stuff. And then you just write up a 3-paragraph article, and, you take photos, and we'll help you get the passes. So I put in
the writing that's required. Is it just a play-by-play, objective, say what happened, or?
It's very much, the band sounded great. Their lighting was, just very basic show review. It's not super detailed. They just want, essentially, when you Google the band, is there going to be 7 articles listed? That's kind of how I always impression it. And so I put in for the very first show. It was the emo band Thursday.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's the next show I have coming up. I'll put in for that. And I get the pass, and they're like, okay, well, we got you the pass for the opening band. And I was like, oh, okay, that's how this is going to, I'm going to get photo pass for the opening band. I'm never actually going to take photos of the bands I want to see, but hey, I get to go to the show for free, so cool, whatever. And I was like, got there, super high anxiety. I'm thinking, still going to be fake. I'm going to get there, there's going to be no photo pass. The box office is going to think, it's going to wonder, who's this guy? Went super smooth. It was no problem. Box office knew exactly who. Yep. No, here you go. Here's your pass. Here's your ticket. First 3 songs. You can shoot from the rest of the venue afterwards. I was like, I was like, cool. So, shot it, and then the next one I put in, I was like, okay, I'm gonna put in for something big and see if this is actually legit, or if it's going to be this shooting openers. Well, Carlos Santana was playing here at the arena.
Nice.
In Tri-Cities, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna put in for that. Got approved. And I was like, holy shit, I'm gonna be shooting photos for Carlos Santana.
Yeah.
Blows my mind.
Does he even have an open anymore? Because he can just do
it's just
8 hours.
Yeah, it's just him for 2.5 hours.
Okay, nice.
And so I get there, and there's 2 or 3 other photographers, and their stage manager comes up and is like, hey, the first 3 songs just kind of flow. So we'll let you know when it's been 3 songs. And then you guys can go to your seats and stuff because we all had like comp tickets, seats.
Oh, I see.
And I was like, oh, cool. And yeah, it very much flowed. It was like Omikoma Va, like Black Magic Woman, and one other song was like the first 3, and they all just very flowed together. And then the guy tapped us on the shoulder. All right, guys, it's been 3 songs. We're like, okay, cool. Like, but that was like 20 minutes for Santana.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this actually might be legit. And so after that, it was just any shows I'm going to or any like my favorite bands coming through. You just start making those connections with like PR people, managers.
Yeah.
99% of the time, I never interact with the actual band.
Right.
But I get to see my favorite bands. I get to provide them photos. Every once in a while, they'll share them on their social medias, and then you get a little like, oh, that's my favorite band shared my photo.
So do you still go to shows for fun and not take pictures, or can you not help it? If you're going to a show, you might as well see if you can get on.
Unless I'm going with like people, because I've found the balancing the hanging out with my friends at a show and like going to do photos is a fine line to balance, because most of the times I'm focused on, okay, I need to go, or like, especially if they're deep in the crowd, I'm like, I have to like get out of here and go up to the stage and then come back. So I'm like, well, I'll just kind of hang back for most of the show.
Right.
So if it's like me and my buddy who just went and saw Under Oath in Portland, and I didn't know photography, I was like, let's just go and enjoy the show. Yeah. So I do get those a lot. The local shows, like I almost always bring my camera just because like I want to help like the local bands out. That's where that's where I'm getting a lot of the joy from this, actually, is just helping the local bands get good photos of themselves that, you know, they may not get, because I know my friends would have loved it when I was in high school shooting their shows. Yeah. If I had like an actual professional camera, not my little HP camera.
Full platform.
Someone to leave me, and I need you to walk away.
I know my first true taste of Tri-Cities culture was a metal show at the Tin Hat in Kennewick. And that was the first place I saw you. I was throwing down. You actually got like a shot of me just as somebody handed me back my phone because I was moshing so hard it went flying. And it looked like I was like checking my nails or something, or that I had the chick's nails. You didn't even have to Photoshop it. It was just like a weird coincidence.
The girl handing his phone back looked like covered his hand, so it looked like he had like long nails.
Long, freshly done nails. That was so cool. That's one of my favorite photos.
I wouldn't be surprised if you have a whole lot of pictures of this guy with his shirt off at random shows.
Oh, absolutely. I've seen Vic around a lot.
So do you exclusively just do concert footage? If one of these bands is like, hey man, I like the shots you took of us, can you do like our promo shots or our album cover or something like that?
Oh yeah, like I've done stuff for like Phased, Cobrahawk. I've done some stuff for like a lot of those. It's just ask most cases. Like I don't want to like charge exuberant amount of money for these people because I know a lot of photographers are very expensive.
Right.
Photography is not where I'm making my income. My tech job is definitely paying those bills, but like I'm always super happy to like if people reach out or they like, hey, like we're opening for a band, you want to come cover a show. That's how I ended up at that Tin Hat show. It was Leviticus was opening and he was like, hey, do you want to come do photos for us? And I'm like, yeah, I'll come out. Like mostly want to promote like the local bands as much as I can because like I said, the big bands, like I said, they'll never talk, like most cases they'll never even know that I was ever even there because it's all going through publicists where I know all these local bands, whether it's people in Pazzi or Dagger Face or Ooooz or any of those. It's just very much like, because you actually have real conversations with people after shows where it's like, oh my God, can you send us like photos? We'll like Venmo you. And I'm like, yeah, whatever like, is fair for you guys, pretty much. Like if I'm there, like it's, and then if you want me to come out, then we can talk rates on distance and wherever, how far that is. But for the most part, like I'll send every band at least watermarked photos. Right. Nothing obnoxious where my watermarks all over the photo, but like in the corner, like what I post on my Instagram and stuff. Yeah. Okay. I'll send copies of photos as long as people ask.
Yeah, but also you kind of mentioned it earlier that for some of these kids, it's their first band photo, the first time of them looking awesome on stage and shit. Oh, yeah. And that's going to mean a lot more than you're the 9 millionth person to take a picture of Billy Corgan, you know?
Exactly. Like, I remember the kids in Post Clarity were so excited the very first time I took photos of them. They're like, oh my God, like we look like rock stars. Yeah. Or, I don't know if you ever caught any of the shows at the Space that CH had been put on. No, I didn't. He was getting kids from high school that had never, is their first high school band, and they were just like, some of them were like super shy about it, and some were like, being complete teenager rock stars, and ate up like being photographed and like on like a under the lights for the first time, and it's super cool, like to just have that, and I'm sure like they shared them with their high school friends, and I'm like, cool, like. Just like my Instagram, please. Yeah.
Do you know if you've made it to any senior pictures or anything like that? Did somebody like in a band use their band photo, or has somebody asked you?
Not that anyone's ever said, but like I said, most cases, like once I send them, it's if I just say, hey, tag me if it's online. Yeah. And like most cases, it's free to use. Like, do what you want with them. Right. It's like I just want credit where I can get credit. And, for sure. When your friend's band also starts up and they want photos, reach out.
So on regular interview shows, we have their artists showcasing their music, but we had you to put a list together of local acts, and we'll be playing their songs throughout the show. Do you want to just shout some of them out while we're at it? You don't have to name the songs or whatever. You can just name the bands.
Yeah. So I put down some of my favorite local bands. Pazzi, super fun, punk, ska, California rock. Yeah. Cobrahawk, which I know you guys played before. Right. Probably had them. One of my favorite bands. Just sounds amazing. Such energy. Yeah. Band definitely probably will go places. Ooooz, I love their interview with you guys. Oh yeah, that was so fun. Those guys are so fun. Yeah. Jordan sounding like a radio host when he introed a song. That was so funny.
No, he was like, before we started, like that's why he was kind of doing the John Madden thing. Yeah. Because he's like, I always want to do that, or I got such a radio voice, and he was just doing a little, kind of almost like trying to taking over the show. Yeah. So I don't know if you probably maybe couldn't hear it, but like, I was a little extra antagonistic to him. It was all playful or whatever,
yeah.
but I'm like, come in here, try to take my job, bitch. Your fucking
Don't be
beautiful
jealous.
deep voice.
Don't be jealous.
Jordan rambles.
Go get some throat training. I mean, vocal
Hey,
training.
Vic, it's not that
Vocal
kind
training.
of show.
Oh yeah. Keep that.
Yeah, those guys are a blast.
Yeah, that was awesome. And also, I saw you taking shots at their tour kickoff show.
Another one I always like to shout out is House of B, which is Avery's brother and his dad's band. They are just so weird and fun.
Yeah, I haven't seen them as House of B, but I saw them doing their Drumnado thing.
Oh, that was super fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You read that show.
Yeah, they are. That family is just so much talent.
Oh,
between
yeah.
the three of them.
Yes.
And have them, and then I'm going to shout out, talking about bands that I grew up on. I shout out one of my friends' high school band, Sally's Army.
Okay. Shout out Sally's Army.
They're super rad. Unfortunately, no longer a band, but they were a band that I remember getting their first demo and playing it for everybody. Like, oh my God, this is the best music I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It is garbage. It was recorded in a garage. There's so much, there's static and feedback. It's everything just going through like a PA to a soundboard and into an old Dell computer. And I just remember everyone's like, yeah, Darren sounds kind of nasally, and I'm like, no, that's just the sound. Like, it's supposed to sound like. The song I put on there is from their last recorded, where it's night and day, completely different. It finally clicked, but it was a band I just never gave up on, and I would go to every show from when we were 15 to up till they broke up, which was 2008, 2009. Yeah. So that's the last band I have on there.
No, that's cool. But actually, what music did you grow up on? Like, what was being played in the house, and what caught your ear outside of the house that you're like, oh, this is my music. This isn't my dad's records or my mom's stuff or any of that.
You asked me to put down a couple of the songs that people would be surprised with, and like I said, most cases people probably wouldn't be surprised knowing me, especially as much as I just randomly burst out in song of random stuff.
Right.
But so I grew up my parents' music was 90s country, 80s, 90s country.
Oh, okay.
And I was always like, oh yeah, would listen to the top 40 country songs every week with my mom, on the music video station or whatever. And then I eventually got into top 40 pop hits, where it's the girl up the street listened to Backstreet Boys, so I listened to Backstreet Boys.
Right.
My sister was a couple years older than me, and so she was listening to the Spice Girls and stuff, and I was like, oh, listen to the Spice Girls or Aqua or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then I would say I went through a hip hop phase where I found Ludacris, Nelly, Eminem was getting big, and so I was I listened to that, and then listened to Dr. Dre or Snoop Dogg, stuff like that. Going through my hip hop phase, and then I'd say about middle school, a buddy of mine was finally dude, you need to listen to metal everything.
Yeah.
You need to stop listening to this rap, listen to whatever. Here's this Slipknot album. Go listen to Slipknot this weekend. And I was like, oh, okay.
Was it their first one?
No, it was Iowa. So
nice.
I think Iowa just came out, and I was like, okay, I'll go listen to Iowa. And I just put my headphones on, listened to it, and I was like, dude, Heretic Anthem is my anthem. If you're 555, I am 6. I'm just now I'm a metalhead. Okay. And so I was very
yeah, that's all it took.
Pretty much what I've found is if I can just jam out to it or just turn it up loud and just vibe with it, I'm into the music. It could be pretty much anything from ska to jazz, whatever. If it sounds cool or kind of eerie, whatever, I'm into it. And so from metal, it was then right before the summer of high school was my sister was listening to Green Day now. And so I was like, okay, I'm listening to pop punk, and that's where I found Rancid and NoFX, MXPX, bands like that.
Yeah, but yeah. As much as people like to shit on the popular bands, they are great gateway drugs into fucking punk.
Absolutely, and I think that's probably where I fall more now. I think that was really me finding my own. What I like, what I actually truly enjoy. Yeah. Because outside of my sister listening to Green Day, she didn't listen to a lot of punk, old punk, or she wasn't listening to Bad Religion or anything like that. Right. But I was like, oh, I kind of really like this. And I had a few skater friends that kind of listened to that, but no one was really super into punk like I was. And And so I was very much like Liberty Spikes. I was like, that's what I need to be. Like, I need to have like huge. My hair was huge, like huge long spikes in my hair.
Yes,
I was writing on my jeans. You know, all the band logos and
yes.
And that's really kind of how I fell into the crowd here in Tri-Cities. Was I found like the punk crowd, like the Spew people.
Yeah.
Like
shout out to Spew.
Yeah, like Stephanie Hazard.
Shout
and
out
stuff.
Spew.
And then like they brought me into like they're like, oh, like here's other people or these people in these punk bands and stuff. And so now, you know, like whether I'm at Ray's or the Emerald still, like these are like my people. These are the people I found.
Yeah.
That I haven't really found in like a long time, because for the longest time, most of the people I knew were my work friends and stuff.
Right.
And so they weren't really into like going out to shows.
They weren't punk enough.
Yeah. I like my buddy Scooter is my only punk friend. Like we actually, when I started Amazon being 18, everyone else on my team was 21. Like, oh, let's go out to bars. And me and Scooter were like, whoa, I'm 18, he's 19. We can't really like, go out to bars. And he's like, well, you want to go to like these all ages shows at Ray's? And I was like, that sounds fun.
Shout out to all ages shows.
Yeah.
Shout out Ray's.
Yeah, Ray's.
Shout out Ray's for sure.
And so like, there's plenty of like, I can't even remember most of the bands like that played through there that I've seen.
Right.
Like people were like, oh, you remember? Were you at this show? I'm like, probably. Like, but I was there just for the music. I didn't care who the bands were. Like, I was there for you know, new kid in town, trying to like meet people and
right.
And then like, and because I also had my friends' bands played there at Ray's too. Like we'd come down for shows for them to like play like an opener for some touring band or whatnot. But yeah, so like that was like, and all this again is just very recent. Like in the last like post COVID I was tired of like being cooped up. COVID 2020 was the very first year that I never went to a show. Like, since I was 14. Like, and so like I was like, I need to get back into this. I'm trying to get this photography stuff working. I need to work on like practice, and like can't get better practice than working at like poorly dim lit local venues.
Yeah, no shit.
And so if I can make these local bands look good, like shooting an arena shit's gonna be cakewalk.
Yeah.
Like everything be properly lit.
Yeah, no shit.
Not just a couple like LED lights that they bought at Walmart, like posted up on a couple subs.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's like that was all 2021. It's like when I really started getting back into like the community in Tri-Cities.
Sounds like you've gotten to see maybe a few bucket list bands already, but if you could put together this magical show, what's the venue and 3 acts? And it could be of all time. If you want to be Joy Division and the Beatles and fucking the Doors, if you want, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the venue maybe doesn't matter, but if there is a venue you like particularly well, and you don't have to be shooting it, you can just, you know, have the best seat in the house and watch the show.
Oh yeah.
Who would you like to see? 3-band bill, opener, middle, and closer.
I would absolutely adore. So it'd probably be the Paramount if I had to pick a venue. Paramount in Seattle.
Oh yeah, I love the Paramount. Yeah, I saw the Strokes there and John Legend, maybe somebody else.
One of my favorite venues. Then I would probably do a very grunge. Because one thing I also found is I love 90s grunge. Like whether it's not just Nirvana, but like Soundgarden's one of my favorite artists. Rest in peace, Chris Cornell. If I could choose, I would see the Temple of Dog reunion because I didn't go to it and I really wanted to.
Wait, when did they do a reunion?
It was like the year before Chris Cornell died.
Oh fuck! Oh, I totally missed that one.
Yeah, because I'd seen so many shows where like Soundgarden's playing and Eddie Vedder just pops up on stage and they do a couple Temple songs and I'm like, oh. And the very last time I saw Soundgarden was at the White River Amphitheater and I was like, oh man, like Eddie's in town. He just posted like yesterday he was in Seattle. Like he's gonna show up. Never showed up.
Oh, no.
I was so bummed. I was like, whatever. Like stupid. So I'd probably do a Temple of the Dog would be on there. There's so many bands that I've always wanted to see that I would love to like that I have already got to see.
Oh, nice.
I'm a huge Pink Floyd fan.
Oh, okay.
I would love to see them actually back together. That will never happen.
Like original singer or
if I could get David Gilmour and Roger Waters not to hate each other,
right?
And Roger Waters not to be a complete POS, but like if I could get it back together for just me at the Paramount with Soundgarden and Temple of the Dog, like we'll just call it a big reunion.
So we're doing Soundgarden and Temple.
Yeah, Temple of the Dog together. Like, I mean,
Oh, well, yeah, I guess, yeah, you kind of get a 3-for-1 in that.
Yeah, they're all part of the same band.
Yeah, no shit. Smart.
I would love that. Like I said, Pink Floyd just back together would be amazing. I've seen Roger Waters perform The Wall in its entirety, and like, that's amazing. But like, it was also when he was like in his like late 70s.
Yeah.
So it's a little different than maybe prime Pink Floyd. Who else? NoFX needs to get back together, even though they just broke up this year.
Yeah.
Get them back together. I was at 2 of their, both the Seattle and the Portland, like, farewell tours.
Okay, yeah, because I was going to say, I vaguely remember you posting pictures from NoFX.
Oh, yeah.
Or something.
NoFX is probably one that you said when to get into the punk stuff was one of my favorite punk bands.
That was actually the first punk CD I bought. Well, okay, funny enough, I referenced actually My Chemical Romance as something punky that I listened to, and my friend was like, "That's not fucking punk, bro. You need to go listen to Punk and Drublick by NoFX." And I went to the fucking whatever used CD store the next day and got Pumpkin Drublick, and I love it to this day.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I guess along the same lines, what have been your favorite venues to shoot at?
Oh, that's a good one.
It all comes down to ease of access. Like I said, being a bigger dude, sometimes it's kind of a pain. A lot of people kind of shit on the Crystal Ballroom as like a not sounding great, but I love the Crystal Ballroom because they split up the crowd. Which another thing they get complained for is it's split between like all ages, then on the left, and then 21 and over on the right. But because there's only one freight elevator in the back of the venue, they make a barricade all the way down the middle, and so it's like super easy for me to get up, shoot shows. So Crystal is one of my favorites.
Where's that at?
In Portland.
Oh, okay.
The Roseland Theater in Portland's also another favorite because one thing I've learned is make friends with security at all these shows.
Oh, yeah.
I was shooting at the Roseland, Dragon Force, and Necrogoblicon.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah.
And like the crowd was oversold. It was so full.
Oh, wow.
And so instead of like making me like go like get out of the pit and like the photo pit, like the area in front of the stage, security just let me chill on the side of the stage, and I could just watch the show from the side, like watching Dragon Force, and then not have to worry about like trying to see people over people. I was like, oh, that's like super rad.
Yeah. Do you is it like an unspoken thing, or maybe a spoken thing, that you don't take pictures once you're out of the pit?
It depends on the artist. So the typical rule is first 3 front of the stage. And then most bands are cool with like getting coverage shots of like going up to the balconies or shoot from the back.
Yeah.
Some bands will explicitly say, put your camera away. I've had bands say like Tool, for example, we had to, after we were done shooting, we had to go put our cameras in our car, and then they let us back into the venue.
Oh, wow.
And so it's like, it's all, some bands are just very protective of their image. They don't want like that unflattering photo.
Is that why it's the only first 3 songs? Because they don't want pictures of them sweating and looking tired, or?
Oh, I absolutely.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of the vibe I get. And then we're also not a distraction to the people there.
True.
Because like, people who are at the barricade are there hours before the show. And the last thing I really want is, oh, there's this guy holding his camera up for the whole hour in front of me. And so it's very much like, you try to blend in as much as you can, like kneel down, like don't wear like bright colors. Not that I always wear black anyway, so that's not.
So what's next for Fat Man Photography, and I guess what's the goal, or the hope?
Yeah, so coming up, I think a lot of people who know me know that I spend a lot of my time in Portland now. I split my time between here and.
I love Portland, but my wife hates it for some reason.
So I found it has it's small. It has a smaller feel than Seattle. I've always enjoyed that over Seattle. Because one of the reasons I moved from Seattle was it was very kind of standoffish. People were kind of like abrasive to you, or like you try to meet people and then like you're like, oh, this is kind of clicking, and then like they'd be done with the conversation. The conversation's just over, like at a show or something.
All right. And
it's not like, oh, the band started playing. It's just like, oh no, we're still waiting, and this conversation's over. And so I'm just like, okay, I'll just awkwardly stand here.
Yeah.
Where like people in Portland seem way more like willing to talk and chat before shows and stuff. And so I was like, well, I want to try to do more shows, and so being in Portland allows me to catch shows at places that aren't just the big venues or the big shows, I can go check out a local show. There's a place called The Bomber in Portland that does afternoon Sunday shows.
Oh, nice.
And so it'll be like 3 o'clock, open for show, out by 8. But it's like putting on like local punk shows or like rock shows.
So I know this is definitely like a Cinderella type scenario, but let's say some giant band is playing at the Toyota Center and they're like, hey, Anthony, we love your pictures. Want to take you on the tour with us. What band would that have to be? And I guess what band would it have to be for you to be like, all right, fuck my job for the next month. I'm going on tour with.
Homie works remote, so.
Dude, if anybody asks, I would do it. So actually, so this is, I've always wanted to do that. I've always just wanted to go on tour. It was the Menzingers and Sincere Engineer. Menzinger's from like Boston and Sincere, she's from Chicago.
Oh, okay.
But like they were playing Vancouver, Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, LA, and then like another like Pomona east of LA.
Okay.
And I was just like, I think I'm gonna go to the shows. And my boss was like, what? I was like, yeah, I think I'm taking 2 weeks off. I was like, I had time. Like I had a bunch of vacation. I never take vacation from work because like if I have a show, my boss is like, you can just make it up. As long as you get your stuff done, like you can kind of make up the time.
Right.
It's very flexible in that case. And so like, I was like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna take 2 weeks off, and I'm just gonna follow the band and see what happens.
Yeah.
And so I got a pass for the show in Seattle through Sincere Engineer. She's fantastic. I always recommend her. Check out her. She's like a female punk band.
Right.
Super friendly. And
we follow her.
Oh yeah. Well, everyone who is listening, check her out.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Anyway, so I did photos for her. She was like the opener of the tour, and by the time I got to San Francisco, I was like waiting outside the venue, and they were like, "Weren't you just at the last 2 shows?" And I was like, "I was," and they were like, "Oh, what are you doing in San Francisco?" I was like, "Following you guys on tour." They're like, "What?" And it's like I would like talk to the bands and be like, tell them, be like, "Oh no, I just, I've been locked in my house for the last year, and I want to get out, and so I wanted to do this. I did
Good
it.
Enough excuse.
Either I'm gonna sleep in my car or sleep in a shitty motel, which is all I did.
Yeah, ever since I saw the movie Almost Famous, I wanted to
That's
be taken along with a fucking rock band on tour.
that story. And that's based on a true story.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I can't think of who wrote that movie.
Cameron Crowe.
Cameron Crowe. He convinced Rolling Stone to hire him as like a teenager.
Yeah.
And
damn. So that's his story.
Yeah, like the band in the movie is essentially the Allman Brothers.
Oh, wow.
And so that's his whole like kind of biography of like, that's how he made like a bunch of those music-based movies.
But yeah, man, I thank you so much for coming and sharing your story. If people want to find you and see your work, how do what are your ats?
So everything on social media is fatman.concertphotos. Fatmanconcertphotos.com is my website.
Okay, you have a website. Nice.
So yeah, like find me on socials, interact with my socials. That helps. Does help the algorithm. I'm sure everyone's aware of.
Yeah. And if you go to shows in the Tri-Cities, Portland or Seattle, there's a good chance you've seen this dude.
Yeah, you see my hat. Tap me on the shoulder, say hi.
Yeah. Do you sell your hat or merch or whatever on your website, or?
I had patches for a while that I made up. I've been meaning to get them reprinted. The hats I just went to Lids and was like, how much is like 2 hats gonna cost me?
Oh,
so if I lose one, and they're like, it's like $40 each. I'm like, okay. I guess I'm like, because unless I buy like bulk, I'm like most people are supporting the bands.
Right.
I don't need.
Yeah. Actually, that'd be kind of a dick move. Like instead of buying the band's merch, buy my merch. I'm the photographer.
I've had friends ask, and like I have like a vinyl decal cutter, so I'll print up stickers every once in a while.
Stickers and patches sound.
Yeah.
I'm as a bald man, I always love a good beanie. So if you ever make a beanie,
got ya. I will get one made. So yeah, just like I said, follow the socials. Like I said, I always had the guaranteed 2 likes. My mom and her friend Marty. Shout out to my mom and Marty. They're always rad to like my post. But
do you have any more shout outs?
Eminem. Shout out Eminem.
Shout out Eminem. Slim Shady.
Yeah.
Make me think that I was a white rapper as well back when I was 13. I can still recite The Way I Am by heart.
Oh, hell yeah. Actually, I think that's probably my favorite verse of his, the opening verse of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, but any venues, people, bands, anything you'd like to shout out?
Ray's always.
Any girls you want to holler at or whatever?
Hey, what up? My numbers. No, Ray's Golden Line. I'm super excited to have that back. I'm sure a lot of people have said when I heard Talon and Andrew were reopening that, I was so excited.
Yeah.
It being gone for 10 years. And Emerald for putting on music at a sit-down restaurant where a lot of people, I've had so many bands say, this is so bizarre. Like, they were having dinner service and now we're having a punk show. Yeah. I'm like, so Dara and Justin for putting that on.
Yeah.
Great job.
Yeah, we love the Emerald.
So I love the local venues. Always give them a plug.
Yeah, and shout out to them both. They do a lot of all ages shows.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing.
With a ball.
Those kids love having something to do. I said, if it wasn't for those when I was 18, 19, or in high school, I would have nowhere to go.
Right.
I could be in trouble, like getting into trouble and stuff. Yeah. And so at least I had like an outlet of music, and said if anybody that brings energy, it's those kids to those shows. Yeah. They are always super energetic. They're there to mosh, dance around, get going, make sure the rest of the crowd's going. Right. So shout out to those all ages kids.
I vouch for that. Tri-Cities, especially Tri-Cities youth, is potent.
Yeah, it is contagious though, man. That's why new music and just fucking energetic shows. You got to go where the young people are.
Yep.
But yeah, again, Tri-Cities Mixtape podcast. Thanks you, Anthony Moore, Fat Man Photography, Vic Williamson here, and Miguel Ortiz. Thank y'all for listening. Good night.
We'll see why they say
1, 2, 3, 4.
Used to seen all the friends, didn't think those times would pass, but they did. Days filled with laughter and joy. Now we'd love to act a bit coy. Smiling face, blessed be the day. Gotta work to get out of our way. Never really had much to say. Hope we get to meet again someday. Growing old, we stare at the void. Many people do and get scared, what's the point? The scenery blends into gray. Barely fight back, become our own hate. There's a dim light far away. Color seems to flow around the side. Maybe we should go towards that light. Follow me and I will lead the way. Paid in full, the world looks dull. Where'd we go? Find ourselves along the flow. Paid in full, the world looks dull. Where'd we go? Find ourselves along the flow. Dreams fuel the fire of life. Follow it and see where it takes. Just might bring us all back. After all the time we spent in the black, the scenery fades back to green. Blue skies remind me of my teens.